but still calling itself Roman. Now, of course, tell that to the emperor in Byzantium. And he says, of course, I'm the Roman emperor. There's only one Roman empire, and it's here in Constantinople. Another of the... And who is Charlemagne anyway? He's a barbarian. This is very much the relation between Eastern and Western Europe over this time. But you see, a Holy Roman the whole thing is sacralized, and seems to be now it's a sacralization process that absorbs huge amounts of traditional religion, traditional religious practice, traditional religious places. Old spirit shrines become shrines of saints. People used to go to this place for contact with a local divinity of some sort. They now go to get blessing from St. Sebastian, to pray to God through St. Sebastian, and so on. But it does strike me as a very consciously Christian Christian society. We talked about the pastoral nature of a church. You know, this goes on again until very recent times. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I think the greatest success of the 19th century is often called the Great Century of Missions. The greatest success of 19th century missions, it seems to me, was in the United States. The United States ended the 19th century as a much more Christian country than it was at the beginning. When the American nation comes into being in 1776, the calculation is that about 1/10 of the population had an effective church connection. That's hugely different at the end of the 19th century. Despite the fact that the population over that period has expanded immensely, with both the expansion of territory and the expansion of immigration, mostly from Europe. At the end of the 19th century, European Christians in most countries are realizing that a good deal of the population of Europe no longer goes to church. And become very worried about the great cities in particular. The church has lost the cities. And they develop all sorts of attempts to reclaim the city. Why do people not go to church in the cities? Well, some say the churches are in the wrong place. We must build more churches. We need more clergy. Right, bring in more clergy. People have to wear a good suit to go to church. Lots of people can't afford a good suit. So let's have special churches where you don't need to wear a suit to go to church. The whole thing is seen as a pastoral matter, a continuation of the Christian idea. These are spiritual Christians. These are Christians in principle who are not practicing. And the pastoral task is to get them to practice. And this applies to evangelicals as well as others. In America, it had been seen as an evangelistic challenge. And, as I say, the United States really is a triumph of missions. The evangelistic impulse means that the United States reaches a greater position of Christian strength at the end of the century, at a time when the European churches are saying we've lost the working classes, we've lost the cities. The point was they never had them. The cities had come into being, and the church's machinery was still meant for a rural society based on these rural parishes.
May I ask a question? Does that have anything to do with the growth of the cities with industrialization?
Sorry?
The growth of the cities.
Yes.
Does it coincide with the time that industrialization?
Yes. This is all a product of industrialization.
Okay.
Yes.
And
Very
so
much so.
by the time the cities were growing, the churches were still so much of the
Yes. You've got your Christendom machinery is established for a rural population.
Okay.
Then you get the transformation of that industrialization brings of huge urban areas that simply don't fit into this thing at all. And so if you think of Britain, London apart, you've very, very few large towns. Just this Christendom idea, I think, has been very, very powerful and has had all sorts of effects that have gone on. Just in the backgoing, I'll leave you to read it. You might be interested in that set of documents I gave you. Did you notice a document called the Helian? Well, we can take a quick look. Perhaps as an illustration of this process of how we bring this, remember, essentially illiterate population into a Christian discourse. This one, the Helian, is written in the early 9th century. It's written for Saxony. That is what's now Eastern Germany, which had been brought into Charlemagne's empire. And the Saxons had been as tends to happen with Charlemagne's conquests, forced into Christianity. So they are somewhat unwilling Christians. And somehow or other, they have to be introduced to what the Christian faith is. This is an illiterate people. Their literature, as it were, is oral. They tell stories. They tell stories about great heroes. And so the way to introduce the story of the gospel to it is to make it a story about the greatest hero of all. And so the Heliand is a story of the great hero Jesus. Of the sort that you will tell after the big meal in the evening, when there's a fair bit of drink going round the table. And just as you tell stories of other heroes, you now tell the story of Jesus. Look at page 44 there. This is the nativity story. There came a decree from Fort Rome from the great Octavian, who had power over the whole world, an order from Caesar for his wide realm, sent to every king enthroned in his homeland, and all Caesar's army commanders governing the people of any territory. It said that everyone living outside their own country should return to their homeland, that all the warrior heroes were to return to their assembly. Each one was to go back to the clan of which he was a family member by birth in a hill fort. Because all these people, of course, will be living in hill forts. And so Jerusalem and Bethlehem and Nazareth all become hill forts. The command was sent out over the whole world. People came together at all the hill forts. The messengers who had come from Caesar were men who could read and write. You see, not too many of them in this society. And they wrote everyone's name down very carefully in a report, name and nationality, so that no human being could escape from paying the tax that each warrior had on his head. And now we see Joseph going there with his household, just as God ruling mightily willed it. He made his way to his shining home, which is of course the hill fort at Bethlehem. This was the assembly place for both of them, for Joseph the hero and Mary the good, the holy girl. This was a place where in olden days the throne of the great and noble good King David stood for as long as he reigned, enthroned on high, an Earl of the Hebrews. Joseph and Mary both belonged by birth to his household. They were a good family lineage, David's own clan. That's the thing that you stress. Family matters to the Saxons. So you stress that this is, they both belong to a good, indeed a royal family.